I'm Risley Goldsboro. I've had the privilege of writing 11 different books, a number of screenplays, published a couple of magazines, and recently took the message online to the internet. And I want to spend some time with you this evening talking about exactly how I did all of that, what happened, and I just want to start out by saying I'm pretty sure that I've made every mistake known to man multiple times. And in this webinar, what I want to do is share the three biggest mistakes that 95% of all writers and small businesses make. And I'm going to focus somewhat on the business side because all writers, in my opinion, in order to be successful, need to think of themselves as a business. These mistakes are costing you sales of your books, the loss of new clients, and they're costing you your freedom, the ability to actually enjoy your writing and your business. And at Author 101, if you were there and heard my presentation, I focused a little bit more on the three mistakes that only writers make. Today, to give more value, I'm going to broaden that to the three mistakes that businesses, especially the business of writing, fall prey to all the time. And I'm getting a technical glitch. Give keyboard mouse. How do I change slides?
Yes, now we see your live screen now. I see you're on my story.
That's where I got rejected. Here are the three greatest mistakes. Here's not differentiating. Can you differentiate one B from another? I don't think so. Okay. Attracting the wrong people. That's where we are because, again, let's just get back to talking about the 80-20 rule. Are you seeing that now, Hubert? Attracting the wrong people? Outstanding. I appreciate that. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for pointing that out because it really is. What if you just think about this, Hugh? What if you could attract only the top 20% that bring you most of your profits, your right partners, your fans, and reject the rest, especially the low 20% that give you 80% of the headaches? That would be amazing. And what a fantastic, amazing, joyful career you would grow, endlessly scalable, built with ideal clients that become raving fans of your writing, devoid of energy suckers and time wasters, all based on what you believe, your belief system. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about on this webinar. So whatever type of writing you do, working with the wrong clients costs you. It costs you in profits, it costs you in mental fatigue, and at the end of the day, when you head home to your family and you just feel drained with nothing else to offer, you realize that it also costs you emotionally. In our research, we actually found that dealing with the wrong customer or client causes such a significant amount of frustration and struggle, and I know many of you are dealing with that. Interestingly, though, our research also found that the majority of small businesses and service professionals have no idea where ideal clients come from or how to reach them. And I want to ask you a question. How about you? Do you feel like you're struggling to attract the right clients? Do you even spend any time thinking about it? Are you dissatisfied with not only the quantity but the quality of the clients that come your way? The solution to the problem of not attracting enough clients and not attracting the right clients is simple enough. You've just got to employ an approach and a tactic that in fact will attract the most ideal, most profitable, most enjoyable, most raving fan, the people that tell their friends about you and your writing. And I'm going to show you what we found to be the fastest, easiest, least expensive way to do exactly that. And number three, the three greatest danger that we face, all of us, is not having a specific strategy or a specific plan for our business and how to get our message out to the world. When we look at how fast marketing, technology, and the way we're doing business is changing, it creates a state of overwhelm for the vast majority of us, especially entrepreneurs, including writers, and leaves us constantly reacting to these changes. The number one rule experts advise when you're in a changing market, and certainly when growth begins to stall, is to be proactive instead of reactive. And even with that sound advice, most business entrepreneurs and writers are not proactively building and strengthening their business. They're stuck reacting to the business they've built. It should be about solutions and focusing on what you can do and not what's holding you back. I remember listening to Eric Hoffer, who said, in times of change, the learners will inherit the earth, while those who refuse to continually learn inherit a world that no longer exists. Our research found that a great majority of business owners wanted to increase their profits by 10, 20, 30, or 40%. And my question is, can you work 10, 20, 30, or 40% more hours or 10 to 40% harder? From rural towns to large cities, no matter where you are, no matter where your profession is, There are copywriters, screenwriters, bloggers, poets, and other writers of all types in your community, in your industry, in your niche that are doing 10 to 40% of more businesses and sales than some of you are currently doing. And they're not working any harder, they're working smarter, and they're seeking and finding and implementing solutions to these trends that we're going to be talking about on this webinar. So, obviously, the solution to danger number 3 is to have a clearly defined growth plan and marketing strategy. And based on the proverbial 80-20 rule that we discussed a while ago, it's predictable that at least 80% of business owners, entrepreneurs, and all types of writers are literally hiding out right now, hoping that somebody does something. Because you're on this webinar, I already know that you're not in the 20% who understands that hope is not a strategy and hope is not a plan. If you happen to have a pen and paper right now close by, I would encourage you to write this down and read it every day as often as you have to until you can answer the question, A, what is my strategy? And B, what is my plan? You see here, the reason I want to say that is because it's your plan that gives you the edge. You have to begin with an end in mind and have a strategy and a blueprint to follow for your business and your career as a writer. A strategy is nothing more than a carefully defined and detailed plan to achieve a long-term goal and then holding yourself, being accountable to that plan. Chet Holmes, many of you may know Chet, worked with Tony Robbins for a long time, who was considered definitely one of America's greatest business experts, growth experts, said a strategist will crush a tactician every time, yet 99.9% of all owners and executives are tacticians. He also said, when you have a clear blueprint and a strategy, you get up to 9 times more impact from every move you make. Think about that. When you have a clear plan, you get up to 9 times more impact from every move that you make in the marketplace. And frankly, that statement has turned into our specialty. We take people who are tired of either not knowing what they should do, or they don't have the time to put together a plan, or even the team in place to implement a plan if they could figure it out. Now, here's the challenge. If you continue doing what you've been doing, you'll continue to have what you have now. And obviously, that's not enough, or you wouldn't be here. To get a different result, we have to do things differently. We have to make, create, or orchestrate a change. The challenge to this is obvious. Change is difficult for all of us, and most of us just don't want to do it, especially if we're talking about big change. Whether that's a change in relationships, business or personal, a lifestyle change, a physical change, a change of our habits, and especially financial change. Big change sucks, big change is hard, and big change flat out hurts. So, but what if all you had to do, what if you didn't have to make any big change at all? What if all it takes is a little shift? What if that little shift always works? And what if I could prove that to you right now, since you're here? Let me ask you a question. Think about this. If you're hungry, what do you want to do? Right, eat, of course. How often? Every single time you're hungry. If you are cold, what do you want to do? You want to get warm. How often? Every single time, with no exceptions. So what's the point? The point is that biology drives behavior 100% of the time. It never fails. And what this means, and this is critical to every single thing to do with your career and your life, is that if you understand the biology of the brain and how decisions are made, you can influence the decision-making part of the brain of everyone you come in contact with, everyone you connect with, everyone you put your message in front of, which will have an absolutely transformational impact on your results immediately. Let's break it down. I'm going to show you exactly how it works. Many of you have heard of, I'm sure, author and visionary Simon Sinek, who wrote the book Start With Why, W-H-Y, a person that we're very, very close to. We've worked with him for years, and who came up with a concept called the golden circle. Now, the golden circle stands for the concept that most companies and individuals know what they do or what they make, or in our case as writers, what we write. Many of them know how they do that, the process and the systems, but very few know why they do what they do. In fact, only inspiring companies and individuals know their cause, their why for doing everything that they do. And yet it's super critical to your success. Let's take a look at this from the perspective of the brain. If we superimpose the cross section of a brain over the golden circle, we can see that in the center we have the limbic brain. The limbic brain is responsible for all of our feelings like trust and loyalty. It is also responsible for human behavior, all decision making, and has no capacity for language. Surrounding the limbic brain is the neocortex, which is responsible for rational and analytical thought and language. It processes data and information, but it makes no decisions. It causes the reaction that I know everyone on this webinar has experienced many times, where you find yourself saying, that sounds good, but let me think about it, which translates as, I'm not buying your book, I'm not buying your screenplay or your product because I need to analyze it instead of taking any action. If you talk about what you do, what you have, what you sell, or what you write, you do not reach the decision maker in the brain. You must talk about why you do what you do first, reach the decision maker first, and only then can you express what you have to offer. Let's take a look at an example. Apple became the largest company on the planet in terms of market cap, and Wall Street tells us that Apple is super successful because they make great products. They're so wrong. They are dead wrong. Apple is successful because they tell us what they believe, and in doing that, attract others who share that belief, loyal customers, ideal customers that would rather walk the plank than switch from their Mac to something else. Apple users don't care how much they pay, while everybody else price shops. Apple users don't look for discount coupons, while all computer buyers, everybody else, compares feature after feature from one manufacturer to another. Apple users will stay up all night long to pay full price for the latest product, even though the last version of the same product works perfectly well for them. As opposed to, consider the difference, other computer users who wait until their old model wears out and then get up on a Black Friday to find the best deal. Apple users don't cover their logo with stickers. They wipe their screen clean. They identify each other when walking through airports. They form part of a tribe that is so fiercely loyal, raves about the product, and will debate almost to the death the superiority of a Mac over a PC. Apple gets it. Apple tells us what they believe, not what they make or what they do. Consider the first line of the video that launched the iPad 3. I'll bet you there's a few people on this webinar who have an iPad 3, which, by the way, drove sales of $2 billion, that's billion with a B, in a single week, the biggest product launch in history. The first line said, "We believe technology is at its very best when it's invisible." They express their why, to challenge the status quo, to think differently. We believe that technology is at its best when it's invisible. Nobody had ever said anything like that before. Expressing your why is the ultimate differentiator, the absolute solution to the first mistake and danger, and it's so simple, and yet almost everybody misses it. This tiny shift that I was talking about, this tiny shift from talking about what to why makes all the difference. And it's not even hard to do. In fact, when you're real, genuine, and authentic and express your why, it is easier than having to be clever, slick, and polished. Let's review what is so different about your why. You express what you believe, not what you do. You instantly differentiate yourself. You engage the decision maker right away. You attract the right people automatically. You connect on a profound level, and you cause decisions in your favor all the time. Let's take a look at another example. So this is one of our clients, Heather Quick. She's a family lawyer in Jacksonville, Florida. And most family lawyers' marketing messages sound something like this. At the law offices of John Smith, we practice family law. We handle divorces, custody battles, paternity suits, visitation rights, and all other aspects of family law. We have over 20 years of combined experience, have resolved 3,000 cases successfully, offer convenient hours at 2 great locations with a seasoned and professional staff. Give us a call to set up a free consultation. And that's about what almost all family lawyers sound like, talking directly to the neocortex, and does nothing to drive any behavior. Heather, on the other hand, knows her why, which is to build trusting relationships, and she expresses it in her message. Listen to the difference. Hi, I'm Heather Quick, and I believe in creating relationships that are based upon trust. Before we work together, I want to get to know you, and I want you to get to know me, so that we can make sure that we're the right fit for each other, and you can feel completely comfortable sharing even the most intimate and difficult details about your case, so that we can offer you the fullest protection available under the law. If a trusting relationship is what you're looking for with your lawyer, give me a call to set up a consultation. Can you hear the difference? It is literally night and day, because Heather talked about what she believes, not what she does, and her message goes straight to the limbic brain. Her revenues have increased 1,000% in the first year since implementing this type of message. So what do you need to do to differentiate yourself, attract the right people, and implement a strategy that'll work like Heather's? Well, it's actually quite straightforward. There are 3 steps to success, and they are: discover your why, create your why messaging, and apply it to your marketing everywhere, especially your website. Here is an example of another one of our clients, Dr. Mark Santa, a good friend. He implemented this strategy on his coaching website. I know there's probably some coaches on this webinar. His lead flow went up 400% in the first quarter after he added a video that expressed his why, which is to make a difference in the lives of others, as opposed to his old messaging, which simply talked about the services he offered. Let's go through these 3 steps one by one, and I would strongly suggest that you write them down. All right. Step 1, discover your why. And to do this, I want to give a live demonstration. And we have on the line Rock and Roll Larry. Let me see if I can unmute. Larry, can you hear me?
Hey, rock and roll.
Rock and roll, yeah. Brother. How are you, my man?
Wonderful. How you doing, Ridgely?
I am doing terrific. Thank you so much for joining us on this live demonstration. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to go through the process of helping to discover your why, and then creating a little messaging that you can use for your website to help get your message out there. That sound great?
Sounds wonderful. Thanks a million.
I appreciate it, man. So here's how this is going to work. We're just going to have I'm going to ask you to tell me a couple of stories among friends, and those stories are going to reveal some patterns that show you what you deem to be successful, and share with us what your why is. So do me a favor, tell me about something that happened to you with respect to your work in the last few weeks or last month or so with another human being. In other words, something specific, a specific incident that happened to you with another person that made you feel successful.
One of my former students contacted me and wrote me a phenomenal email, told me that I made a major impact on their life, and then he met me and we went out to lunch together, and it was a phenomenal experience.
Fantastic, man. Congratulations. So tell me, what about that fact that he contacted you and shared that you'd made that kind of an impact? What about that made you feel successful?
Oh, man, just knowing that I could make somebody's life a good thing, it makes all the difference in the world. I just love that.
Yeah, me too, man. And tell me, what about that's important to you?
Well, I'm a hippie, you know, and making the world a better place has been a part of my being ever since I can remember.
Fantastic, man. Well, I appreciate that. Now I would like you to switch gears with me, and I'd like you to tell me another story with another person, with another human being, of something that happened to you that had nothing to do with work. So let's say it could be something personal, your friends, your family, your hobby, anything, as long as it has nothing to do with work, something that happened with another person that made you feel successful.
Uh, well, my nephew, my sister's son, chose to spend his spring break. He and his girlfriend spent their spring break at my house, which was a real compliment to me that of all the things he could be doing during his spring break, he decided to hang out with his uncle.
Very cool. And what about that? What about the fact that he decided to hang out with you made you feel successful or on purpose?
Well, just the fact that out of all the things he could do, he chose to be with me. I'm hoping it's because of my passion for life, and hopefully that passion is contagious for him and his girlfriend.
And and tell me, what about what about that passion for life? What about that's important to you?
Well, I don't know. There's just something about making a positive impact on somebody's life that just resonates inside of me and makes me want to make more positive impacts on more people's lives and just rock and roll, you know?
Now, I want to point something out to you. Do you realize that you just told me the exact same story twice?
Did I?
Remember, you first started talking about your student and how great you felt when you could make a difference for that person, make an impact.
Yes,
And then you
yes,
went on
yes.
to tell me the exact same story when it comes to your nephew and how important it is to share your passion so you could make an impact. Do you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah, absolutely. Good, good, good.
So, do you feel successful when you make a difference and make an impact in the lives of others?
uh, Beyond successful, absolutely, yes.
So that is your why. And you see how quickly we were able to reveal that based on a story that had something to do with work and a story that had something to do with your personal life that actually was exactly the same story. You told me the exact same story, contributing to a greater cause, making a difference, making an impact. That is why you exist. That's why you do what you do, why you say what you say, why you think the way you think. How's that feel for you?
Fantastic, absolutely, originally. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's definitely it.
Now let's do something fun. Tell me how you show that to the world. When you're working with your students, when you're working with your clients, with your family, whoever it is, how do you show the world that you really care and you want to make an impact?
Well, I live every second with passion. I smile. I appreciate everybody and everything.
Hmm.
Is that are
What
we getting
else?
there?
Yep.
Good, good, good.
What else do you do?
What else do I do?
Hmm.
Uh, I greet everybody I come across. I appreciate everybody, and I try to live with a giving heart, and I praise people.
Hmm. And when you're doing your work, how do you help show your students that you really care about making an impact for them?
Well, one of the things that just this might not be exactly what you're getting at, but I learn every one of their names and I call them by names all the time, which I think is pretty unusual. But that's because I care about each one of them as a person, not just as a class of people.
Hmm.
Are we getting there originally? Am
Yep.
I
Uh,
okay?
I'm making a couple of notes here. What else do you do to let people know that you really care?
I guess, well, it's just kind of a something that happens all the time. I smile all the time. I flash the peace sign at everybody I see. Um,
Hmm.
and I always have a spring in my step.
Okay. And if people say to you, "What do you do, Larry?" How do you answer that question?
Well, now, now that I'm listening to you originally, I guess I say I appreciate.
What you used to do?
Oh, man. I used to be a professor at Penn State and a motivational speaker.
Right. So people say, "Oh, I've been a professor at Penn State and a motivational speaker." That's kind of interesting. Now,
Yeah, that's right.
let me obviously this is being recorded, and you'll be sent the recording so you can
Okay.
circle back and grab this, so you don't have to worry about it right now. But what if
Thank
you
you.
were to say something like this? Hi, I'm Larry Shart, and I believe in making a difference in the lives of others and making an impact anywhere I can. I'm going to live every second with passion, smile at you, and appreciate everybody and everything around me, especially you. I'm going to make sure that I greet you, praise you with a giving heart, and call you by name because I care about you as a person. I'll flash you the peace sign, keep a spring in my step, and do anything I can to make an impact in your life. Rock and roll. That sounds like somebody you want to work with. Give me a call. How's that sound?
That sounds phenomenal. That's me. You got me. You got me, Ridgely. Exactly. And rock and roll part. I mean, you captured it all, brother.
You know, the thing is, and this is what I want to share with everybody that's on this call. When you express what you believe, you give the rest of the world the opportunity to raise their hand and say, I believe that too. I resonate with that. I get you. I relate to you and connect on such a deeper level that people are going to do things in your favor. They're going to buy your book. They're going to sign up for your course. They're going to participate in your coaching program. Whatever it is, when you tell people what you believe as opposed to what you do or what you have or what you sell. Can you see, Larry, what an enormous difference it makes to do that?
Absolutely. Oh, definitely, Ridgely.
Well,
And everyone else out there, by the way.
circle back. Whenever you get a minute, you just sort of circle back and grab that recording. Use it any way you want. But I can tell you, you will send your conversions into your classes and into your courses and into your work through the roof by expressing what you believe. People buy Larry first, your program second, and therefore expressing the better you can become at expressing your why, the more powerful this is, as a method for getting you to put your message out there and impact as many people as possible. Make sense?
Uh, Very much so. Thank you. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. That's phenomenal. Thank you.
Well, you are most welcome, my man, and we're just going to keep on. I know we have limited amount of time, so we're going to keep on jamming. But obviously, you know how to get a hold of me, Larry. So,
Thank you,
thanks so
Ridgely.
much for
Rock and
volunteering,
roll.
brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, take care.
You too. Rock and
All right, rock and roll. Let's keep on going here. What do we do after that? Well, second thing is we've got to create your why messaging. So the why messaging is exactly what I just did with Larry and express that. Instead of talking about what you do, you talk about what you believe first and get people's limbic brain engaged, going in the direction of what you want them to do, and then what you have to offer you express second. It changes everything. Here's an example. My friend John Gallagher. John Gallagher has an herbs business, and his why is to contribute to a greater cause. Until we worked together, he did not express this in his marketing. And in 2011, when he launched his product, he brought in less than $200,000 in revenue. In 2012, this is amazing. In 2012, the only thing he changed in the relaunch of his product was that he added the following sentence to the video that sold that product. It started out, I'm John Gallagher, and I believe in contributing to a greater cause, in this case, your health. Everything else was the same. The whole launch, everything he did was the same, and yet he went from under $200,000 to over $300,000 in revenue for sales of the exact same product. How is that? Because John, like Heather and Dr. Mark, expressed what he believed, not what he did or what he sold. So, what's the final step? You have to apply the why messaging to your website and everywhere else. In other words, you want to make sure that every single touch point that a client or a fan could have with you reflects what you believe, not what you do. You will attract the right people, you'll engage the right people, and you'll connect with the right people. One last example here, Sanchez Dental. A few years ago, they were seeing 8 to 12 new patients a month. The value of a new patient as a cosmetic dentistry practice being about $5,000 or more. And still, with 2 dentists, a staff of 9, they were barely making it. And their message sounded like every other dentist. We do porcelains, veneers, teeth whitening, teeth straightening, have a friendly staff, a great location, convenient hours, blah, blah, blah. Nothing that motivates anybody. And then they change their messaging to reflect their why. And the new homepage video starts out, at Sanchez Dental, we believe that life is better with great teeth. So what was the upshot of that? From 8 to 12 new patients a month, they went to 35 to 45 new patients per month, which they have now maintained for over 2 years. In other words, their revenue went up $150,000 a month. All because instead of expressing what they did and what they offered, they began to express what they believe. Gary Sanchez became such an expert that he is now my partner, and he and I wrote a book on the subject, and we now create products to help the world learn about the process. So what now? What's next? Well, you now know that the 3 greatest mistakes and dangers to your writing career and your business. If you do not differentiate yourself, you'll get lost. If you attract the wrong people, they'll drain your energy, send you in the wrong direction, never build your fan base, and literally suck the lifeblood out of you. If you don't have a strategy and a plan, it is virtually impossible to get anywhere, as the old saying goes, and we've all heard it a zillion times, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. In addition, you also know the complete solution to all of these 3 dangers. And unlike most largely transformational undertakings that require massive change, which we all know is extremely difficult, this process requires just a tiny shift. A shift to discovering your why, learning how to express it, and applying it with all of your messaging in a completely real, genuine, and authentic fashion. Now it's your turn. It's your turn to be heard. It's your turn to share your message. It's your turn to make that dream, whatever dream it is, come true. Now, while of course you could do what we did and figure all of this out on your own, let me suggest an alternative that will give you a massive shortcut. It will dramatically reduce your learning curve, make sure the process is done correctly, and let's face it, when you tell the world who you are, that's not a place that you want to make a mistake, and enable you to focus on what you do well, which is to write and be heard. I want to share with you the ultimate solution, a process where at no risk to you, you make sure that the expression of what you believe that will in turn make you stand out from your competition and attract the right people to help you is 100% fleshed out and fully conveyed to the world. So, the Why Formula online course, which I want to tell you a little bit about, is a 3-module video-based training system that walks you step by step through the process of understanding what is a why, how to discover your why, and more importantly, how to apply your why to everything that you do. In the retail market, it sells right now for $497. Now, along with the course, to make sure that you have all of the support you need, you can check your why and your why message and learn more ways to bring it out to the marketplace. We include a 90-day jumpstart coaching program with open coaching webinars for you to ask any question about any aspect of the process, from the messaging, your homepage video script, how to apply it in social media, to learn how to do what Larry just did, anything else you can think of, a coaching program that sells for $397 a month or a total of $891. And that's not all. We include unlimited email coaching valued at $97 a month, unlike anything you've ever heard of before, because we encourage you to send us your why message for review, your slogans, your video scripts, whatever else you need throughout the program to make sure you get it right, and our coaches, our copywriting team, will help make sure of that. And we're not finished, because every year we host a live Why Formula event where people from around the world gather to learn the latest and greatest strategies on how to better express who they are, what they believe, and why that should matter to the world. It costs $19.97, though as you may get used to with us, we do our events a little differently than everybody else. We get together in paradise at an unknown jewel of the Caribbean called Akumal, just a little bit south of Cancun. And unlike every other event and other event organizers who keep you stuck in a room most of the day to bombard you with information, we start our events a little earlier in the morning and we end at 1 o'clock in the afternoon so that you can enjoy the beach, the sun, go swimming with the turtles, play beach volleyball, do whatever you enjoy doing, and be networking at the same time with all of the great people that are there. I can tell you, in that water right there, if you were to walk out on that beach right there into that water and go 30 yards out, you are immediately swimming with giant green turtles. And if you can see where there's like a little line of surf, that's a barrier reef that traps all of those turtles and all of the other water fauna. Every fish you've ever seen in Finding Nemo is there. It's absolutely amazing. We start early in the morning, 8 to 8:30. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we're done. There's some optional workshops for those people who want to do that, but we get out on the beach and we enjoy ourselves and we network and we make new connections and learn together. It's just literally fantastic. And I can tell you that a lot of people bring their families, which I really think is great. I'm definitely going to bring my family, and I hope that you have a chance to do the same. So let me just review everything we just talked about. We have the online course that's completely video-based with downloadable tools. We add in the Jumpstart coaching program, the unlimited email program, our live Y Formula event for a total real-world value of $3,676. And then, as crazy as it may sound, we offer the entire package to you for only $297. Now, you may ask yourself, why in the world would anybody do that? That makes no sense to have a package worth $4,000 and sell it for less than $300. And in the traditional business world, you would be right. We have a completely different perspective on it, however. We're so confident that once you begin to express your why and experience the crazy results that you'll undoubtedly get, just like Heather, Dr. Mark, John, Gary, and now Larry as well, and so many others, you're going to want to know more and become a lifelong client and student with all of us. And that's why we want to make this such a no-brainer that you don't even have to think about making this investment into your future. You just do it. Not only that, we are so confident that we completely guarantee the product for 30 days. You can go through it all, attend our coaching calls, discover your why, send us emails, whatever you want. And if you're not 100% satisfied that it was worth every penny and way more, you simply let us know and we send you your money back. No bother, no hassles. And just for fun, when I go to conventions as a speaker, I charge people $750 to do their why and their why messaging, just like I did for Larry. A little bit more elaborate than that, but it's about the same thing. Once I show you the URL where you can pick where you can register for the course, the first 5 people who make the decision to register for the Y Formula program and invest in yourself, I will personally do your why. And we're also going to do a mastermind in paradise. So if you're among the first 50 people that register for the program, we will invite you to join our mastermind just before our live event and hang out with some of the smartest minds on the planet. And I see there's some questions. I'm going to get to those in just a minute. And that takes the real world value of our program to almost $5,000, including the online course, the Jumpstart coaching, the unlimited email, the live event, the why for the first 5 with me, and the mastermind for the first 50. Available to you right now for $297. Now I'm about to give you the URL and then I'll answer all the questions. I want to make sure I finish within an hour, which we were able to do. So if you are interested and ready to make this investment in yourself, there it is. Go to www.yformula.com/author, yformula.com/author, and everything we just talked to you about is available to you right there for only $297. All right. So let me just share. Let's go to a couple of questions. Julia says, I'd love to do this. I hope you don't mind my reading this, Julia. I'm just not sure how to coordinate all right now as I'm doing Clint Arthur's media program, and in 3 months we'll be doing Tom Antion's program. What do you suggest? That's a great question. And let me just share with you, the last thing I would suggest is that you overwhelm yourself. That's not a good idea. However, and I would be out of integrity if I did not answer your question exactly as I'm about to answer it. And that is, how can you put your message out to the world without knowing your why? How can you create a great website that's going to convert for you without knowing your why? How can you express on the back cover of your book or your blog posts or whatever who you are to the world without knowing your why? In other words, I hate to say this, it's just that I have to, even though I know you're doing a lot of things and all of them obviously very valuable. I have tremendous respect for Clint and Tom. Your why comes before everything. Knowing why you do what you do, why you think the way you think, why you act the way you act, why you talk the way you talk, why you selected the partner that you selected, it comes before everything. And therefore, I wish there was an easier answer other than I think you just have to do it. You just have to make the decision, carve out a little bit of extra time. Obviously, you have the video based platform forever, and you can always refer back to it. But I, I would suggest to you that you need to know how to do your why. You really need to know your why. You need to know how to express what you believe. And all of that will only enhance everything else you're doing, such as Clint's program and Tom's program. So, Julie, I hope that's not the hope that's the answer that you wanted to hear. At the end of the day, I really sincerely believe your why comes before everything. Knowing why you do what you do. By the way, we talk about it here in the context of being a writer, but let me just share with everybody how great it is on a personal level. For example, with my wife and I love my wife to death. And because I understand her why, which is the same as Heather's, to create trusting relationships, I understand that for her, that means everything. She, for example, runs all of our bank accounts. We have 23 of them. Don't ask me why. It's probably not necessary, but we have 23 bank accounts. And one of the expression of creating a trusting relationship is she balances every one of those accounts to the penny every single month. And she'll spend, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours to find 50 cents that might be missing to make sure that the account balances to the penny. And some of you on the call may be thinking, well, that's kind of ridiculous. How would anybody want to spend 50 cents, 6 hours to find 50 cents? Except that for my wife, it's an expression of how she brings to life creating trusting relationships. And my comeback to anybody that says that's ridiculous would be, really? Who do you want running your accounts? And let me go a little bit further. Check this out. If at 5 o'clock we've agreed to go for a walk on the beach, we live very close to the beach, and she's still in the middle of balancing those accounts, and the balancing of those accounts is an expression of why she does everything that she does, which is to create trusting relationships. And I walk into her office and say, hey, are you ready to go? And she says, no, I'm still working on the accounts. If I did not understand her why, I might have a reaction like, really? You mean the accounts are more important than me? What about our relationship? I thought we were going to the beach, blah, blah, blah. But because I understand that her why is to create trusting relationships, and this is one of the ways that she expresses it, I say to her, I got it, babe. Don't worry about it. And we have a much better relationship. So while I think it's incredibly important, if not paramount, to know your why and understand your why on a professional level, to be able to express what you believe to the world, I also can tell everybody that on a personal level, it is absolutely amazing to know your why and be able to live that on a daily basis. So I got another question here, and if you do have any questions, please write them into the chat window because I'd be more than happy to answer them. The question is from Sergio, and the question from Sergio comes in saying, well, everybody wants to make a difference in the world and help other people. Does that mean that everybody has the same why? And the answer is no. That's a very great question. Of course, most people want to help others. However, that may not be their driver. For example, if you talk to my wife or Heather, you'll find out that their driver is trust. One of the ways that they create trust is by helping other people. But the driver, their why, is trust. How they bring that why to life is by helping other people. One of my partners' why is to do things the right way. He's a great guy when it comes to systems and organization. He builds lots of systems. He's the perfect guy to run things for us, which he does. Well, he also believes in helping people, but his driver is to do things the right way. There's a right way to do things, and in the process of doing that, one of the ways that he brings his why to life is by helping other people. So again, the why is doing things the right way. how he brings it to life also helps other people. So the answer to the question, does everybody have the same why? The answer is 100% no. We have discovered 9 different whys that are out there. All of that, of course, is in the program, which you can find at yformula.com/author. And I would strongly encourage you to hop on over there, sign up for all of that, and then bring yourself and your loved ones to Akumal to swim with the turtles with me. Again, if you have any more questions, another question coming in is, any why better than any other? And the answer is, of course not. All whys are created equal. What I mean by that, it doesn't matter anyway, because the reality of it is that the reality of it is that your why is your why. There's nothing you can do to change your why. It lasts forever, which is, again, one of the reasons why I urge everybody to sign yourself up at yformula.com/author so that you discover that why. It's going to be with you for the rest of your life. The messaging will be with you for the rest of your life. It'll impact everything you do, but there is no why that is any better. For example, there's one of the other whys is to find a better way of doing things. A better way of doing things is common for inventors, innovators, creative people. Steve Jobs' why is to challenge the status quo. Obviously, he did that in a very, very big way, and that's the key point. The degree to which you will be successful with your writing and in your life is the degree to which you bring your why to life. So, for example, with Larry, who shared his why earlier with us to make a difference and make an impact, the amount of success that he will enjoy will depend completely on how big of an impact he can have and how many people can he make a difference for. In other words, in how he brings his why to life. So that was really a great question. But no, there is no why that is any better than any others. The key is to know what your why is, make sure that you express it clearly, and when you do that, you're able to attract those people who believe what you believe. So I hope that answers that question fully. Let me see if we have, sorry, I'm not paying attention to the questions because I'm trying to answer the questions. Let me go back to the questions. Okay. I totally agree. Okay, here's Julia answering me. Great, excellent. Well, come on and join us, and we'll have some fun at the beach. But first of all, we'll make sure that you discover your why. Another question. Okay, another question that's coming in is: does the course? Thank you, Julia. Julia's already joined us. Fantastic. We love to see that. Does the course include doing the why messaging, which is earlier, kind of like what we did for Larry? And the answer is, of course. That's the entire that's the whole reason why we have the open coaching webinars. We have our open coaching webinars so that people get on those webinars and we talk about their work, and we use it as a workshop type environment. And of course, what we also do is we have the unlimited email thing, and we encourage everybody, look, send me your stuff. I have a whole team of copywriters. They're all highly trained. They're great. Send me your slogans. Send me your headlines. Send me your why messaging. Send me your homepage video script. We want to see. We want to help you. We are absolutely committed to lifelong customers and to a journey of growth and development together, and to making dreams come true. We celebrate each other in a really, really big way. So definitely all of that is included. We are here to help and support you and make sure that your dreams come true as well. Okay, I am running out of, I thought, either I did a good job in the presentation or people are not feeling particularly talkative this evening because I'm running out of questions. So I just want to kind of summarize just a little bit here and invite all of you to, again, hop on over to yformula.com/author and register for the course so that we can have some fun together, help you express what you believe in the marketplace, and really make your dreams come true with your message, which I know is important. Okay, again, in summary, we have 3 big problems as writers, as authors. Number 1, we've got to stand out from everybody else. Number 2, we have to find a way to attract the right people. And the right people in this case are the people who believe what we believe. And number 3, we've got to have a plan for what we're doing. How do we do that? Well, The plan is really straightforward. In order to differentiate yourself, you have to discover your why. Then you express your why. It makes you stand out from everybody in your space, and it never changes. So the discovery of your why, that process lasts forever. It will serve you for the rest of your life. Number two, when you express what you believe, you attract people who believe what you believe. And therefore, they are going to be the right people who care about you, who relate to you, who resonate with you, who want to be a part of your success. And number three, you make that tiny little shift. Doesn't have to be a big, huge change. The shift is the strategy that we're going to use is unlike the rest of the world that doesn't get it, guys, gals. They just don't get it. We are going to express what we believe, why we exist first, not what we do or what we sell or what we offer or what we write about. People don't care about that until they care about you first. So that's going to be our third plan. That is going to be our strategy. And the way we're going to do that is to discover our why, create our why messaging, and express that and apply that everywhere. And obviously, through our course, our online course, along with our coaching program and our unlimited email and live events, we're going to help you do that. So, once again, please hop on over to www.yformula.com/author, register for our course, and we'll see you on our up and coming open coaching webinar, which is in the next 10 days. I can't remember exactly what the day is, but the next one is in about 10 days. So we will see you there. I want to once again thank everybody for participating. I especially want to thank Larry, rock and roll, brother, for coming on out there and playing full out with us. Hopefully that message will serve you. And again, and obviously, if you want to hop in, register into the course too, and join us there, that would be great. We'd love to have you. And I want to thank all of you who took your valuable time to figure out a better way of doing things. Please go out there, discover your why, live your why, express your why, and let's go change the world. Thank you so much. This webinar is officially over, and the recording will be sent to you. Good night, everybody.